Hi, Heroic Historians! So today is a really exciting day because you are starting a new book club book. So you're going to read Bud Not Buddy as your second book. Bud Not Buddy is an amazing book and it's won a lot of awards over the years. So I want to introduce this topic to you in this time period so that we have a better understanding. So Bud Not Buddy takes place in the year 1936 in Flint, Michigan. So it takes place in the United States, but in the 1930s. And so in the 1930s, 1936 to 1937, there's a lot going on in Flint, Michigan at that time. Michigan itself was really known for creating automobiles, and they created a lot of different cars and factories at that time. There was a big strike that actually happened against General Motors, and that ended up actually changing how automobile workers were able to work. They had better working conditions, and it really started this idea of creating a union. So it was a really big deal during that time. Also, the Great Depression was happening, so there was a lot of poverty going on. Your main character in your story's name is Bud Caldwell, and he's 10 years old. And your story starts 4 years since his mom had died, and he runs away from his third foster home in search of a better way to live his life. So he's going to really find out as he's traveling just how rough it really is in Michigan in 1936 during the Great Depression. When he leaves with a few specific things. He leaves with an old suitcase full of his special items. He leaves with his book that he creates, which is called Bud Caldwell's Rules and Things for Having a Funner Life and Making a Better Liar Out of Yourself. And he leaves with a flyer for the Dusky Devastators of the Great Depression. So during your story, he's going to meet a lot of people along the way that are going to help him in his search to find this man who he thinks is his father. His mom never really told him who his father was, but when she passed away, he was left with this flyer that was advertising Herman E. Calloway and the famous jazz band, the Dusky Devastators, in the Great Depression. So his goal as he's traveling is to try to find this band and really find his dad. So as your story goes on, he's going to meet a lot of different people along the way, and he's going to learn a lot about himself as well. But once he starts his journey in search of his father, nothing's really going to stop him. So you have a lot of different topics that are going to keep in mind. But the biggest thing I want you to think of, 1936 had the Great Depression, and there was a lot of different things still going on at that time. So as you're reading, make sure you're taking notes because this author, Christopher Paul Curtis, is going to give you a lot of historic information to help you better yourself in your story.